Before there was a Capitol building, there was the old 8th Ward, and I'm here at the Gamut Theatre in downtown Harrisburg, where they're putting on a production called The Voices of the 8th that outlines the history and rich heritage of that neighborhood. Let's go learn more about it.
The old 8th Ward was demolished because, the beautiful Capitol and the grounds and all the buildings around it, those buildings are built on that raised community. And this was a community that was very vibrant, very diverse, and pretty much the hub of the Harrisburg area back in the mid-19th century all the way up to the early 20th century. And significantly, it was a place where the demographics were very diverse, but it was a very large concentration of blacks, African American, people of color that lived here. From what is told of the 8th Ward when it is talked about or stories told of it, it's told of a place that was violent, that was unsanitary.
It was called the Bloody Eighth.
The Bloody Eighth. That's the narrative that you hear if you hear anything about this. So that's why Voices of the Eighth is so important. And what we're doing in this space, we're giving those stories life, and we're also writing a more accurate narrative of the old 8th Ward.
Talk to me a little bit about the actors' process, getting into those different stories.
This story, when I conceived it and creatively, I wanted to use griots, so for African and from our African culture and roots. So our actors present themselves first. You will see them as storytellers, and they bring everyone into this storytelling universe. So our set is, you'll see it's being completed, but it's symbolic of weaving the threads of our lives together into this tapestry that covers us. And then there's also singing. And they're using their bodies for beats and counts and percussion. They use the floor, they use sometimes the wall. And for me with the actors, because we are talking about people who existed, and we are telling a story that it's pretty traumatic. It's people lost their lives and legacies. These were homeowners who were pushed out, and they weren't compensated for their homes. These were business owners. We talk about the importance of establishing and passing on a legacy of wealth. Well, that ended right there. Everything that these people, many of them, again, black people worked for, just ended. So part of what we do here is connecting. Every time we've done an installment of this, someone in the audience recognizes a name, a portion of a story, another person in the audience, and they begin to find they're connected to these people, and they hear these names. But also the actors understand in the process they are conduits of that they are facilitators of not just the storytelling, the connection, but also healing.
Talk to me a little bit about the significance of it taking place during Black History Month.
It's really important, though, to for this production and program, because we run matinees for the school groups. So the importance is that they're coming and they're seeing, hearing, learning, experiencing their local history. And for the students, last year we had one of the students share with us, she said it was the only Black in her school. And she was there with all of her white classmates. And she started to cry because she said, not only the stories, but I feel represented. For the first time, I was able to come into a space and see Black people, Black actors, tell me good things about me. That's why we do this.
And from everything that you're saying, it really feels like you're bringing the connection back. You're bringing the community back together.
It was important for me to give a forum, and we have facilitated talkbacks after each of these shows so that we can do that. And those talkbacks are the next steps, the next stages. It's the call to action, you know, for now that you have the information, now that you know different, you have the opportunity to be and do differently. What are you going to do? But the one thing that I don't ever want to lose and don't ever want anyone to mistake is the beauty of our Blackness. It's bright, it's beautiful, even with the backdrop of the incredible loss. We find a way to heal and move through it, but don't ever forget it, because we will continue to repeat it. And then we set our eyes on the future and we move to it. So that's what we do with Voices of the Eighth.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
This video was produced for Mosaic by WITF. To help support this project, please visit witf.org/mosaic.